Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. The Cleveland Indians are now the Cleveland Guardians. And like a lot of diehard Indian fans, Chuck Lombardo is not happy. Tonight on Whiskey Business. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast, as we like to say, not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And tonight, very loosely, I should say, the theme, I guess, tonight could be change. Change happens on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis throughout our entire lives. Sometimes the change is for good, and sometimes the change is hard to take initially. Maybe we get over it, maybe we adjust to it, whatever the case might be. I've gone through some change recently. I'll talk about that here in just a moment. But tonight, we talk about America's greatest pastime, baseball. Has it changed? Sure. Lots of changes in rules and regulations through the years. But what hits a baseball fan the hardest is when the soul and integrity of what he considers to be his favorite team takes a change. And recently, we knew it was coming. They said that the Cleveland Indians were going to change their name. When that first came out, everybody was like, oh, I can't believe they're going to change the name. But then it kind of died away, and nobody talked about it for the longest time until they announced the new name of the Cleveland Indians, which I think is a magnificent name, said the Pirates fan. The Cleveland Guardians. So what did we decide to do for tonight's podcast? We decided to bring on a gentleman who loves the sport of baseball. He's been on the podcast before because we'll recap exactly what you've done in the past and what you didn't get to do because of the pandemic. Chuck Lombardo is back with us tonight to discuss said change. Welcome back, buddy. Nice to have you.
Thanks, Dino.
And thanks, Dino. Thanks. Yeah. Just saying the word Guardians makes him upset. And in order to honor Chuck's appearance on the podcast tonight, we decided to stay as close to Cleveland as possible by bringing in our guest bottle. This is Cleveland Bourbon whiskey. This is the Black Reserve edition, I believe. Yeah, the Black Reserve limited production edition of Cleveland Bourbon. I got to be honest with you. I didn't have a whole lot of high hopes about a whiskey that came out of Cleveland. Like a lot of things that come out of Cleveland. But we're going to have a little taste of this and talk about it. But before we do that, we have a little bit of business to get to. We want to thank our new podcast family that we are a part of, Evergreen Podcast. We are now a member of that happy podcast family, and we couldn't be more thrilled about it. Evergreen has a ton of programming for you to enjoy, including, of course, Whiskey Business. Yeah. So whatever it might be,
there's a kids podcast, and actually we went down to Cincinnati for the Reds game with the kids. I was like, oh, let's check. I've been wanting to check out their kids podcast, and they did a very great job. They sing songs and try to teach your kids stuff, and they did an awesome job. And I said, what do you guys think? And Davis, my son, 8 years old, he goes, I like Whiskey Business better. So, no offense.
That's a good kid.
Yeah.
I like that.
I got him brainwashed.
I knew I liked that kid for
the
a
kid
reason.
podcast is good. Check it out.
Yeah. And Chuck, Evergreen podcast based out of where? Cleveland, Ohio.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we're happy about that, but you got a couple other little business things to mention as well.
That's right. Well, thanks for voting for us. Do you want to hit that first right off
We
the
should
bat?
do that right out of the gate. The Columbus Podcast Awards are back, and we are nominated once again in our comedy category. We still shake our heads and wonder why, but we won't question it. We have a lot of laughs on Whiskey Business, so maybe that's part of it. But you can also vote for us for Podcast of the Year.
He's never been funny.
No.
Yeah, mildly humorous from time to time, at best. At best,
like a New York Times humorist article.
Humorous.
Maybe that's it.
Dino's podcast is like a long article in the New Yorker with an occasional Woody Allen laugh from time to time, if you're smart enough to get it. But when the Podcast Awards first debuted here in Columbus, Ohio. We were fortunate enough to win Best Comedy Podcast of the Year and Podcast of the Year. So I don't know if we can repeat, but if you want to vote for us again, we would sincerely appreciate it. ColumbusPodcastAwards.com is where you go to do that. And then the festivities will be taking place sometime in late August at the Lincoln Theater. Shame on me for not knowing exactly when the date is, and shame on me because we still have to get our tickets.
Oh, that's
right. I think it's going to be a little fancier of an event.
Does it mean I got to wear a suit or a jacket?
Tuxedo.
Black tie?
You have to wear some slacks.
Oh,
So everybody get their good pants out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, if you can fit in them after
COVID.
Yeah, and I say that mainly for myself.
Your church clothes. Get your
Get your church clothes. Yeah, get your church clothes on. We're going to an awards ceremony.
My funeral clothes.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, that's technically in church. It's church. Yeah. So yeah, Columbus Podcast Awards. ColumbusPodcastAwards.com. If you want to vote for Whiskey Business, we would appreciate that.
And check out whiskeybusinesspod.com while you're at it. That's where all of our archives and some nice new headshots that we've taken.
That we took for the podcast network. Yes, it's the only time we've been. It's a nice picture of us.
It's a nice photograph.
You know,
We actually like.
I actually want to get one.
Like
I actually want to get one and frame it.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Throw darts at it?
No. I want to put it here in our makeshift Whiskey Business studios.
All right.
I want it to be
JC
I want it to be
Penney's.
part of the family. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
No
want one
comment.
just to you.
No,
no comment.
I'm very fond of you. Did I ever tell you that? I'm very fond of you.
Am I attractive? Lord. But there's videos and writings and all sorts of nonsense on whiskeybusinesspod.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and thank you for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app, whatever you're listening to us on right now. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe and rate us and review us. That always helps other people find us on the internets. Also, YouTube. John does a great job videotaping all these. Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis.
Woof,
Right.
woof, woof, woof.
Right.
Woof, woof. Go ahead and hit subscribe and click that little bell icon, and you'll get a notification every time.
I say it all the time. Cannot do the podcast without these two gentlemen. So,
That's it.
so thank you for that very much.
That's
Anything
it.
else you want to add to the
and
mix?
also, you could find us on NBC's coverage of the Olympics.
That's right.
yeah, on one of those channels.
That's right. We're replacing Biles.
Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah, that's a topic for another time. But we talked about that. I might add on the radio today. I want to address a nasty thought and rumor that was going around. I actually have come out of retirement and gone back to the morning show at Sunny 95 here in Columbus, Ohio. My producer when I left that show was none other than the boy I'm very fond of. Greg Hansberry is producing that show still, along with Stacey McKay and Clark Donnelly. And I'm thrilled to be back, but a lot of people said, if you're back at radio, are you going to stop doing Whiskey Business, the podcast? I said, no, absolutely not. Not at all. No, we're going full steam ahead.
People ask me the same thing.
If anything, it's going to give us more fuel.
Maybe
I
more
think
fuel,
so.
more,
more creative.
And I'll be honest,
ambition.
it's I've said it before on many an occasion. The podcast has been my lifeline to broadcasting, and it's good. It's good to be back on the radio again on a daily basis. It is fun. It's fun to be working with my friends again. So for those of you who live in Columbus, Ohio, I'm back at Sunny 95. For those of you listening outside of Ohio, you can always stream it if you want to hear some of the fun stuff that we do.
Sunny95.com.
There you go.
And even if you've missed some of it, I've been trying to put up a bunch of fun stuff that we've done in the past couple of weeks on there. So.
I've noticed that. You do a good job. You're a pretty good producer.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So
I need
enough of that. Our guest is Chuck Lombardo, who joined us in year one of Whiskey Business, I believe.
Might have been,
because
yeah.
we were actually doing the podcast at the Sunny 95 studios back then. So, and we talked to you because you are a huge baseball fan, and you had this annual pilgrimage that you did with your buddy, where you would go to how many parks over the course of a year?
Yeah, so we did a road trip every year, and it culminated in maybe 7 parks, 8 days, and we'd drive like 2,000 miles.
Right.
So it was quite an adventure. We did that year after year.
And you had it planned out, so you would wind up at a certain stadium last. And I believe the last one we did you wind up at the All-Star game
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland?
Well, so that was 2018. We didn't do the trip that year. We only did the All-Star game just because of scheduling. it takes a little bit of finagling to. Wow, I used the word finagling.
Wow.
I
It's
think
Good
my
word.
grandmother
It's a
used
good
that.
word.
Yeah.
Finagling. Yeah.
Less than
That's a
10
good
minutes
word.
in, we're finagling.
Exactly. So it takes a little
Shenanigans
bit
will
of
follow.
shenanigans, finagling. Who knows what words we might come up with.
What kind of
Cattywampus.
what kind of tomfoolery are we going to get into this evening?
But it took a lot of scheduling to be able to hit the number of parks we needed to in the order we needed to based on Major League Baseball schedules. So 2018, it didn't work for us, but we did go to the All-Star game, which was in Cleveland. It was fantastic.
Did you go to like just the game? Did you go to the? I think the coolest, most fun thing to do would to do be there at home for Home Run Derby.
So we didn't do the Home Run Derby. It was you picked either the Home Run Derby or the All-Star game. We weren't lucky enough to have an all-inclusive package.
Oh,
What was the price on that?
Yeah, right.
Just the game enough was more
was
than
good.
enough. Yeah.
But that was still
Oh,
cool.
it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's
we
great.
were about 12 rows up from home plate, and I joked with a bunch of my buddies afterwards. We obviously didn't know the right people because we had to sit behind Joe Torre. So
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did that, and you've done that. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I know you're a huge baseball fan.
Yep.
I know you're a huge Indians fan.
I am.
So when this news broke, let's go. Let me backtrack just a second. When you first heard that the Indians were going to change their name before this new name was actually released here recently, when you first heard they were going to change their name, what was your reaction?
Well, this had started even prior to the All-Star game in 2018. In fact, the rumbling was that the only reason Cleveland was able to obtain the All-Star game in 2018 was at that time, prior to that, they had agreed with Major League Baseball to drop Chief Wahoo from all of their logo
Right.
merch on the field. So you knew that the name change was inevitable from that point forward. But when I actually heard that the name was officially changed, it was a difficult moment.
Wait, so did you think after they dropped Chief Wahoo that would be the end of it? Or was it still common knowledge that it eventually was going to be
You were
a
in
name change?
denial. You're in denial.
You're in denial at
You're
that
in
moment.
denial.
You're
Okay,
like,
okay.
they're going to take away the pictured mascot, which is fine, but you're
Yeah.
still going to have the name Indians. That's what you thought, but deep down inside, you kind of knew.
But Indians is kind of problematic, really, if you think about it,
yeah,
because they're not truly Indians as a people.
right. No, yeah. I mean, it's what, an obligatory term that they use when you look back at,
Right.
Yeah.
Even though the first Native American to play Major League Baseball was
an
played
Indian.
for the Indians.
played for the Indians.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even though that's a fact that didn't get him a pass.
No, I mean, again, and I struggle with this because I come from the camp where I understand that the name needs change.
Right.
But you've grown up with something long enough that it's change is difficult, especially when it's change that's gone over generations.
Right.
Like I found myself flipping through, cleaning out my home office the other day, and I found my change management book from business. And I'm like, oh, this is very applicable right now in my casual life.
Yeah.
Because I need to manage my own sense of expectations through
Right.
change. Because you're going through all these stages of grief, right?
Right.
Like denial, anger, remorse.
Sure.
It's difficult.
Drunkenness.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, there was a lot of
There
that,
was a lot of
especially
that.
on Friday. Yeah.
So the Indians have to change their name, and they have. Will the Braves? Will Atlanta have to follow suit?
I don't know. I mean,
You know, where's the line?
Where's the line on that?
That's because listen, it's the Braves, the Blackhawks,
Right.
Yeah.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think.
In all sports,
I think I mean, Redskins. I think of all of them was probably the most obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a problematic.
Yeah.
You like that word, don't you?
I do. I'm
Problematic.
using it all the time.
Yeah, you said problematic like 3 times now.
I'm going to say it one more time at least.
I like it. It's not controversial, but it's like, oh yeah, it is problematic.
Problematic. Problematic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, where does it end? I don't know the answer to that question. I guess I kind of want your opinion.
I
Like,
think
would
the
you-
Braves are
Would you
next.
be pissed off if the Indians? I mean, they're changing their name. If the Blackhawks, for example, or the Braves or the Chiefs did not end up having to.
Oh,
Like, would you say, well,
good
why the fuck you
question,
picking on
Hansberry.
us?
That is a good question.
I find it extremely problematic.
gotta follow my word now.
I'm not going to be upset about something that another team or another group of sports fans have to, say that it is or isn't something that they need to change. I'm just kind of narrowly worried about my
You're not going to
fandom.
lobby for them to
Yeah,
do it. Just
I'm not
so
gonna.
that, yeah.
Just because it happened to me, I don't
Yeah.
wish it upon somebody
He's
else.
got that cool toy. I want it too, man. Yeah. I got you.
So why stop there? Change the Reds, you commies.
That's right.
That's right. Why stop there? Reds. That's commies. When I was growing up, that's what a Red was. He was a
Damn right.
commie. You got a whole team full of them.
This is red legs to you, my friend.
Yeah. Or
Red legs. Red legs.
like I said, I'm a Pirates fan. What are they gonna? Zach.
Well, the
is
Buccaneers.
Is that
That's-
next?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
The
There's
descendants
some
of-
Buccaneers out there probably pissed off about that name.
The Pittsburgh Profiteers of the Ocean. Are they going to have to go politically
The
correct with
Oceanic
that?
Profiteers.
Yeah, something crazy like that. I hope not. Okay, so the name changed, and while deep in your heart you knew that was inevitable, you knew it was coming. Did you have a name picked out? Was there a name in the back of your head when some of these things were being tossed about that you would have been okay with? Like, would you have been okay if they went back to the Spiders?
I would have been ecstatic if they went back historically to a name that meant something to the city based on a sports a sports team that was there. So the Spiders would have been great. Basically anything but the Guardians.
Anything but the Guardians. Yeah. I jokingly said on the air, I said, I thought because of their rock and roll history, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I thought the Cleveland Rocks. Yeah. And then they had a built-in theme song. Yeah. Michael Stanley Band, Cleveland Rocks, in between the Cleveland Rocks. It all made perfectly good sense to me.
And
Cleveland Rocks, would you have been okay with that?
I would have been okay with that.
And Drew Carey could have been the mascot,
right?
On the flags.
Yeah. Drew Carey bobblehead night, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I've
right?
been there.
Just a T-shirt with his big glasses
and the Rock
on
himself,
it.
right? And then we started talking about some of the things like it's Rock Night. At the Cleveland Rocks, and people bringing rocks. We remember the whole battery incident.
That's right.
And so forth.
Boy, that's like 10-cent beer night.
Yeah, 10-cent beer night. It could have gotten ugly.
Yeah.
What's just real quick? Give me the elevator story about the Spiders. So was it a major league team? Was it a minor league team that turned major league? What I don't know anything about the history of the Spiders.
So they were a minor league team that turned major league. So they were around from like 1887 to 1899. And I mean, they had a long, rich history for the city of Cleveland. They competed against the National League teams when they were in the major leagues, because that was the senior league back then. And they were wildly successful until their final year. And that might have been part of what was off-putting in changing the name back to the Spiders, because for their final year, they held what is still the worst record for a single season in Major League Baseball. They went 20-134.
Wow. Ouch.
But that also had to do with, and we were talking with some of my friends about that history in that final year. They were, the guy that owned them owned the St. Louis Cardinals as well, and he transitioned all of their big time players.
He fucked them over.
Yeah, to the Cardinals, which
Hansberry-
included
Hansberry's
three,
team.
three future Hall of Famers, and that was also including Cy Young. So, just a little known guy right there.
There you go.
I like the Spiders. I'm a Halloween fan, so
Yeah,
it
you
would
are.
just
You
it would have
like
been like
Spiders.
just think
it
of
would
the
have been a
cool
cool
logos
little logo,
and stuff.
and it
Yeah,
would have been a
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a nod to years past.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to sell this bill of goods, saying that the Guardians was selected because of the statues in the city, the Guardians of the City, and they've started to go with that particular theme. I'm sure somebody in marketing, at some point, probably said Guardians has DIANS in it, and so that's like really close to Indians, and maybe nobody will notice.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you're probably right. There had to be some kind of tie-in like that, where it's the name change is close. They're going to continue with their existing team colors, so it's like they're trying to soften the blow that you knew was coming.
It's not a complete 180. It's just a few
When
letters.
you found out, you went up to Cleveland the next night, didn't you?
I did. I was actually on my way up to Cleveland on Friday.
Yeah.
So
So
it was just transition. I was going home to see some family, and I'm like, well, now I have an additional purpose to be there, is to just kind of listen in and hear what people are saying in Cleveland.
So you didn't go to the game?
I didn't go to the game.
Okay.
But I listened to all the radio shows on the way up.
Well, you know how it is amongst our friends.
Yeah.
What you say, Chuck's going up to Cleveland, and by the time it was all said and done, Chuck was going to Cleveland. He was going to the game, and he was going to take every dime he had and buy as much Cleveland Indians merchandise as possible that he could lay his hands on, and he was refusing to bend to this new name, the Guardians.
I will not bend the knee.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, I know how the telephone tree works.
Yes.
Yeah. But I went up there specifically to see family, but it was interesting to get the opinions of my friends that are up there and other people that are up there on what it means to them as they're still living there and I don't anymore.
Does that factor in? You think, are they a little more emotional, a little more passionate because they actually live in the city?
Are you saying I'm not emotional?
I'm asking if you seem. I've known you for a while now, and I've said this to you before. You always strike me as a very even, calm individual. It takes a lot to get you rattled. So no, I'm not saying because you live in Columbus that you are any less passionate. I'm asking when you went there and people who are still living and breathing Cleveland air and in Cleveland sports, what was the reaction?
They are not happy. And that's the calmest way I can put it. I don't know how many things I can or cannot say.
You can say whatever you want.
They were fucking pissed. So it enraged me more. Like I was enraged down here when I heard it happen, but then I calmed myself down. Like you said, I'm a little bit more even keel kind of guy.
Sure.
I'm just like, I'm gonna go home. Everything's gonna be fine. I get home and it's like fucking blood against the wall. It's like there's fisticuffs everywhere. But it's just, I think because of they live it and breathe it and die with it for so long, so many years. You've had so many ups and downs, and people our age, like we haven't seen the good years. We've seen the heartache years, and that's so much about it for us.
I mean, no, you've seen some good years in Cleveland baseball here recently in the last 10 years. You've had some good years.
We have. I mean, we've had good years. We went to the World Series 3 times in the last 20 years, and all 3 have been failures at the very
but
end.
Still, you were there.
Yeah, we were there.
You got there. That's an accomplishment.
And there's nothing like those fans when you're there and you have those experiences to share with each other. So much of what I've always said on why I like the game of baseball is because you get to share the experiences with so many other people. It's not like watching a football game, because a baseball game, you're taking in everything that's going on around you. It's not just what happens on the field, but it's how everyone perceives what's happening.
It's still my favorite sport to go watch live
in person.
I mean, I would much rather watch NFL football on my television,
absolutely,
than go to the stadium. I mean, I'll go if I get a ticket. I'll go, but I would much rather watch football at home. But baseball, there's a whole romantic element that's involved in the whole experience.
Exactly.
And I'm sure this applies to every sport, but I've noticed it more specifically in baseball. You got, like, I've brought my kids. My parents were with us. There's these generations. There were like some teenagers back there behind us. There were these kids that were just there to drink beer and hang out. There was a retired couple next to us. Like, you just get this wide swath of people who just want to hang out and soak in the same thing together.
Exactly. You want to have a shared experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that so easily in baseball, whereas going back to what you said, football is more of it's a made-for-TV product.
Right.
Baseball, you have to be there and experience it.
Yeah, and I'll watch it on television when it gets down to the playoffs and the World Series. But if I'm going to follow or listen to a game, I'll go to the radio.
Yeah.
I love hearing it on the radio because now the radio has to conjure up, your imagination has to conjure up, and that broadcast is only as good as the guys that are in the booth.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And there have been some great legendary ones in the booth calling baseball over the years. But Cleveland, I mean, I get it. I get it because they once again, in some manner of the word, they're taking it on the chin again. Not just in baseball, but you had your entire football team leave the city at one point, and they had to take it on the chin then, and they gone. The owner just picked them up and moved them.
Darker than night.
So so I guess what I'm trying to say is, Are Cleveland fans used to just heartbreak? I mean, and then when the Browns did come back, they were miserable forever, and now they're starting to show signs of life again.
They definitely are used to the heartbreak. It's, I think I've said it before.
Do they handle the heartbreak better than they do the successes?
Well, in the back of your mind, you're always ready for the heartbreak to happen again before that success really happens. Like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
They're not going to win. They might win. I don't know. I don't think they will. It's like one of those things. So I don't know.
So are you more comfortable with the heartbreak than you are the hope?
Kind of.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You're used to it. You're born into it. You're born into saying you are the fan of the Indians, or you are the fan of the Browns, or this is what your family's done for generations. This is what you are. You don't get to pick. Trust me. I mean, there's been decades where I wish I could have picked a different team.
Well, I feel your pain. Like I said, I'm a Pirates fan, and what are we, 20 and a half? I don't even. I stopped looking after they were like 17 and a half games behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, lowest payroll in baseball.
No, the Indians got you beat this year, my friend.
No, lower than the Pirates.
Lower than the Pirates.
Get out of here.
They unloaded some studs.
They unloaded a lot of key players.
Oh, we just dumped somebody.
Lindor.
I can't remember who. Somebody we just traded somebody to the Padres.
Yeah.
Anybody that's good
Ketchum?
in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
eventually, don't get used to them.
38
Don't buy
and 62 right now.
What's that?
38 and 62.
Oh, my God.
38 and 62. Wow,
Well, you're guaranteed not to have the worst record ever in baseball.
that's
get
true.
that-
There's that.
Get that
There's
first
that.
round draft pick.
Yeah, just so we can trade them later. But that's okay. Once again, it's all right. I live with it. We've had our day in the sun. The greatest year of my life was when the Steelers won the Super Bowl, Pirates won the World Series.
1979.
Yep. Ohio State went to the Rose Bowl. That would have been the trifecta. They lost the Rose Bowl, but that would have been the trifecta for me that particular year. But yeah, it was an obnoxious time to be a Pittsburgh fan.
And that brings up a good point. Like, there are teams like the Cubs, for example, who won 100 years. Whoever it is, I think the Indians are now. Sorry, buddy.
And they forever will be, right?
Well, yeah.
Maybe not.
Well,
But
Now that they're the Guardians,
but then there's
Yeah,
someone
that's
like
right.
you.
now that they have 3 statues protecting and
Right,
preserving
right,
the
yeah,
integrity of baseball, things are going to turn around. Oh, wouldn't you just shit your pants
If they won
and
all
if
of a
they
sudden.
start all of a sudden going on a winning streak that nobody's ever seen in their entire lives, get into the playoffs and win the World Series, but they're not the Guardians until next year, right?
the next year.
Next year.
So this
So
year.
they would still be the Indians.
Will you buy the T-shirt? The World Champion T-shirt of the Guardians won in 2022?
No.
Oh, yeah, right.
Now, here's the thing, though. And I told a couple of my friends, this is kind of exciting because for the first time ever in my professional baseball career, I'm going to get to be a free agent.
So you're switching teams.
Hold on. I didn't
Oh,
say
wait
that.
a minute. What are you
I
talking
didn't
about?
say
here?
that.
Wow, this is huge.
But
This is huge.
He's shopping around.
I'm gonna entertain offers. I'm gonna dip my toe out there.
Really?
I
Wow.
didn't say I was going to
But
switch
no,
teams.
the sheer fact that you even say, I'm entertaining offers, I'm a free agent, you may be able to sway and take my love and passion for a team. How old are you?
45.
45, for a team that I've loved since birth.
Yeah.
Right? And what's your team about? Maybe I might. Come on. I don't buy that for a second.
No, but it's fun to think about, isn't it?
Is it?
Who would you
I
pick?
don't know.
It's
got to
be a regional team. A regional team, right?
Would you,
You
would you
you
just go
wouldn't-
like straight to like
The Oakland
Dodgers?
A's.
Yeah, or like the
the
winning
most
studs.
obscene,
Yeah.
Would you stay?
furthest
would you,
away.
Would you stay in the American League?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know that?
I don't even know. I said it jokingly to a friend, and they've blown it up into this big ordeal. Now they're taking wagers on how soon before I start wearing Guardian shirts.
Oh, really? What's the
Yeah, you're
over-under?
gonna get
I think it was 6 years.
6
okay.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, under.
You
I'll
thinking
take that.
under?
I'll take under.
See, here's the thing.
Watch him just kill.
Here's the
Here's
thing.
the thing.
I mean, I got no problem with wearing Cleveland baseball. You know, if they could have done anything, just drop the nickname altogether. I would have been fine with that.
It's like Washington football team.
Washington football
When
team,
all the soccer
Cleveland
teams do
baseball
that,
team.
the football,
Cleveland baseball team.
soccer club,
Exactly.
football team,
Cleveland
or
Soccer
whatever,
Club.
football club.
Cleveland
Right.
Baseball Club. You know,
Nothing
whatever.
problematic with that.
Nothing.
Hey, you got
I did
another
it
one
again.
in. You got another one in.
But that would
Bravo,
have
well
been
done.
that would have been interesting for me. I would
Yeah.
have enjoyed that, and I have no problem wearing that into the future, like Cleveland baseball team, Cleveland baseball. I have plenty of hats and T-shirts that say Cleveland baseball.
kind of says it
Yeah.
all.
Right? That's it. That's
it
all
says
you
it
need.
all without making.
Why do I need to have a mascot or something across my chest that says Indians or Guardians or Pirates?
Did they for example, when they have a new baby elephant at the zoo, they take submissions for like names and stuff. Did they do like a campaign for like people to, you know what I mean? Like, or you just seem kind of blasted out of nowhere and just extremely pissed off. Like, did they not take the fan vote into consideration?
I don't think they took the fans into consideration for it. Now, they said that you could submit name requests and ideas because that's the politically correct thing to do.
Did you?
And it's a smart marketing thing to do.
I believe
What
I
do you,
did
the
not.
fans, think? Yeah,
I believe
See,
I did
because then
not.
that would be like the mother and me. Well, then you
Yeah, I
had-
know.
you didn't, you didn't vote, so
True.
you know.
But when you go back and you hear how they came up with the name Guardians, they're like, well, it was the least strenuous route based on trademarks that were already taken by random people that have filed trademarks for names
Spiders
and
or
pictures.
whatever.
Well, it was like even Guardians was one that was trademarked by somebody that they had to then pay for.
That would have been a great idea.
So
Some dude just bought up a bunch of
bought
stuff.
up
Oh,
a
that
bunch
would've
of
been
trademarks.
awesome.
Like they saw this coming and they just trademarked all kinds of names relating to the city of Cleveland that could
So
do with
somebody
a
got
sports
paid.
club.
Oh.
Somebody
Yeah.
got paid
Smart.
because he
Pretty
trademarked
genius.
Guardians and
But-
gave it up.
All right, and then okay, if you do grow up in Cleveland?
I did,
All
yeah.
right, so when you like, did they have like Cleveland history and like social studies where you like learned about the Guardians? Like, I want to know how
right.
ingrained is this
Did
Guardian
you know about
thing
these
into the
statues
community?
before? Did you know about these? Were you familiar with the statues
I mean,
before this?
vaguely familiar.
Okay,
Yes.
and what did you
they're-
know about them?
I mean, they're part of the bridge, the Hope Bridge.
And what do they do?
They're there. They guard. The
They
bridge.
guard what? What do they guard?
I don't know.
know one of them's
well,
got,
I don't know what the Guardians are going to guard now.
I don't know. One of them's got a truck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What in his hands? I don't know what the other two have.
Like a sword or something like that?
I think there's a sword with one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are they watching over?
Bottle
I
of
don't
whiskey.
know. There should be one with a bottle
Yeah,
of whiskey.
Right?
You guys could make one for a T-shirt.
We could
Maybe one's got a hammer, like a steel hammer.
maybe
Like Thor.
I don't know.
Well, that would be kind of
All right,
cool.
well, I guess that was my other thing.
No, that's a cooler Guardian.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Guardian.
Thor Guardian.
And we've already goofed about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure you've got
Oh, yeah.
fair share
I've
of
got
that
it.
shit.
You've gotten all that, you know.
Yeah.
Your new mascot's going to be Groot.
Groot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
all
those tags.
Mr. Tree.
That's the low hanging fruit that everybody's been grabbing. Like I said earlier in the podcast, in honor of your visit and to ease your pain,
Thank you.
we thought we would try to find a product from Cleveland. And our guest bottle tonight, as I mentioned earlier, is the Cleveland Bourbon whiskey. This isn't the regular Cleveland whiskey. This is the Black Reserve that was in limited production, and it retails for about $37 a bottle. It is 100 proof. It's got a kick to it.
Yeah.
So and it's got a nice long finish, spicy.
Very spicy.
I picked up on some vanilla in
Yeah.
this, the gate, and I'm pleasantly. I don't know why. I don't know why. You know, I know that whiskey and bourbons are being made everywhere now, but for some reason, maybe because the long-standing joke that Cleveland's been the brunt of for so many years upon years, even bourbon from Cleveland or whiskey from Cleveland.
You don't drink the water up there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But
Was
this
this water
is
from the
actually-
river?
This
That is
actually
hot.
I mean-
pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I find it very pleasant.
Yeah, and you said what, like $38
Yeah.
to
think it's
support
37,
local.
$38, yeah.
Go for it. Give it a shot.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's nice.
And it's a good gift, like a gag gift for.
It helps ease my pain.
A gag
Guardian
gift
fans.
is a $13 bottle of
just-
Cleveland whiskey, not a $37 bottle.
Oh, do they have
That's
a $13
serious-
bottle? $13 bottle.
I don't know if there's a
Cleveland?
$13 bottle, but I'm sure
Never mind.
there's one out there of some sort. Listen, that's a nice gift.
It is. It's a very nice gift.
Yeah.
I would be.
I
honored
can't
to
remember
receive
last
that
time I
as a
spent
gift.
$37 on you.
Aw.
Even though, as I
Me
mentioned
neither.
earlier in the podcast, I'm very fond of you.
Thanks. Don't touch me.
So, you know, and I mentioned at the start of the podcast tonight we would talk about change. We're talking about a change in name, but over the course of your life, have there been any other significant changes that you can recall having to deal with that broke your heart, or things that you harken back to that, like, man, I wish this was still this way, or that was still that way?
Yeah. Well, honestly, when I was driving up to Cleveland, and I was listening to the radio about people talk about the Indians' name, and it just it brought back memories. And to me, baseball has a lot to do with memories, just because it's more than just about the game. There's a lot that goes into it. But I was thinking back about listening to baseball, listening to the game. Who was I listening to it with? Just remembering sitting around a radio, listening to the game with my grandfather, with my grandmother in the kitchen, cooking, making something for dinner. And we just sat there listening to the game, being out on the front porch and listening to it with my dad and my brother, and just throwing the baseball around. Like, that's all those things you just start thinking about when, in this instance, what really am I losing? I'm losing a nickname for a team, right? But, you think about, change is difficult. Change is hard. What else have you lost that you can associate that with?
And those moments that you spoke of, when you're in them, and then you start to think back, while you were in them, you think it's always going to be that way.
Right.
Even as you get older. I mean, you did as a kid, but you were thought, I'm always going to be on this front porch with my dad or my grandfather listening to the game. At some point, we're always going to be around that radio or that television, watching it. And then it kind of slowly dissipates and goes away. And sometimes it's so subtle that you don't even pick up on it,
Right. And
until something starts to ping in your heart and your soul and make you harken back to it. But when it starts to change, sometimes it's gradual. You don't even pay attention to it. You start to rationalize, like, oh yeah, I was supposed to be on the front porch with Pops watching the game, but I had to do this next week. And then all of a sudden, that regular thing is not regular anymore.
Yeah.
Until something triggers you to think back, like, man, I missed that.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's so difficult. And I know I'm only speaking for myself here. I'm not speaking for everyone who's an Indians fan, but I think that's why it's so difficult losing that name, is just because you can associate it with so many things that have happened in your past.
Right.
So many good memories, so many difficult memories. You're losing that piece of it, but not just that, but everything that happened around that thing.
Is your father still alive?
No.
Your grandfather?
No.
Long gone.
Gone.
So how do you think they would have reacted to this? Let's go with the immediate family, not your friends and cohorts, but somebody like your pops and your grandfather, those people that were on the front porch listening to it on the radio. How do you think they would have handled it?
I think their first words would have been something along the lines of, "Get the fuck out of here." But
what did your dad do?
My dad did a number of things. He was mostly a car mechanic. So, worked on cars. My grandfather...
So, blue-collar guy.
Blue-collar guy. One grandfather worked at LTV Steel. The other one did more drafting and engineering.
Okay.
So, it was a mishmash, mostly blue-collar work for everybody.
Right. So, blue-collar and baseball, I mean,
goes hand in hand.
And would they go to the games?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to games with all of them. So, it was just... It's something that... helps me relate to, this is what I did with my family. This is what we did in our summers. Like, this is what we were waiting for and what we spent some free time. And if we had free money, you got to go to a game.
Right.
Things were difficult with blue collar people back in the day. And going to a game was a treat.
It was a big deal.
It was a really big deal.
It was a big deal.
So it's just, that's why losing the name can mean so much to certain people.
Because you're losing...
Yes.
You're not so much that you're losing the name, you're losing the
The
history and the memories of
exactly.
it. Right?
It's the memories.
And for somebody now, let's take Hansberry's kids. How old are Davis and Mabel?
Davis is 8. My little daughter's 6. Mabel.
Okay, so if they were Indians fans, I know they're Cardinals fans.
Sure.
But now this new generation that's coming up, the Guardians is going to be it for them.
Yeah.
The Indians. The Indians are going to be a piece of history, like the Spiders were.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Back then,
true.
They used to be called the Spiders. Really? And then someone's now going to say the Guardians. Yeah, I remember when they used to be called the Indians. The what?
Right.
The who? Really?
You have kids?
No kids.
Yeah. Because we just went to the Reds Cards game, and kind of like you're saying, my daughter doesn't really know what's going on. She's 6, but she enjoys going it. She's got the pink Cardinals hat, and to your point of like
Goes for the food.
yeah, she goes for the slushy bar.
Yeah.
But I guess the point is we're not there. She's not there. We're not necessarily there just to check out the stats and watch the game. Of course, there's that, but it's just like it's part of our family culture, and yeah, exactly. Like, you know, there's 162 games a year, and I watch 25. You know, like, but I consider myself a diehard fan just because that's how I was raised. And
your team.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like, you know, most of, you know, my brother lives down here in Columbus. My wife's family mostly lives down here in Columbus. And I take a lot of my nieces and nephews to Clippers games down here. And we've kind of turned that into a thing, you know, once a year at least, take all the kids and go to a Clippers game. And it's more than just, it's like what you said, it's about spending time with the family.
Yep.
It's not just about what's going on in the field, but it's sharing those moments.
Do any of them have a desire to learn more about the game? Do you educate them? Do you try to teach them and say,
I try to teach them
do you keep a
in the moments. I tried doing that, and it's kids are
no,
they're
put it
all
on an
over the
iPad.
place. Yeah, oh yeah. Exactly.
Then they'll like it.
Exactly.
Then they'll like it.
If I could walk away with like teaching the kids like maybe one thing, it's a victory. Or if they can remember like one player's name, it's a win.
Exactly.
Like, what do you do? What are you writing down? What do you?
There's so many more sports now too, though.
Yeah,
that kids can get involved in that we didn't have. Not necessarily we didn't have access to, but that you just didn't know about.
Lacrosse. The kid wants to play lacrosse. What the fuck's lacrosse? I mean, I like lacrosse. I don't know the first thing about it.
What is that sport on ESPN where everybody's around some kind of a springboard thing? It's
spike
like
ball.
Spike ball.
Yeah.
What the hell
That's
is
the
that
new
thing?
Yeah.
But to your point,
exactly.
esports.
Esports.
Yeah.
You make a ton of money
Right?
on esports,
Right?
playing video games that people watch.
That's insane.
And you know, my little daughter, I've been trying to get her to do softball. She doesn't want to do it. We're watching the Olympics. She wants to swim. I go, okay, that's cool.
Awesome.
Swim.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just find something they're passionate about.
Yep.
Yeah, I was watching. We talked about this on the radio. I was watching the handball back and forth.
Right.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that was a sport.
Let's start a Columbus Handball League. The Italian club should have a handball team.
No, the Columbus Italian Club should not have a handball team because people are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. Someone's going to get pissed off and throw that ball.
Somebody's head.
I agree with Dino on this one.
That will,
we know our limitations.
that will go awry, my friend.
Bocce
Trust
ball.
me.
That's
Keep
right.
them on the ground.
That's right.
Yeah.
Granville Waiters, little known fact, was a national handball guy. He played handball.
Really?
Yeah, Granville Waiters.
I did not know that.
Yes.
And speaking of bocce that we play, why isn't that an Olympic sport?
It should be.
Curling is.
Curling is.
If curling is,
If curling
bocce
is a
should
winter
be.
sport, then why shouldn't bocce?
Bocce's a summer version of curling for sure.
What?
I don't know who I need to petition.
You could
for
still be
this.
an Olympian.
I could.
You said on Monday night we were playing bocce at the club. Monday night, you said you were just lights out.
Yeah, I was dropping dimes.
You're dropping dimes out there. Yeah, wouldn't it be awesome?
That would be great.
That in your late 40s or by the 50s, by the time it actually
Probably.
becomes a thing, you could be an Olympian.
That's right.
Maybe I could be flag bearer.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oldest Olympian. Oldest Olympian.
Who's
Who's the oldest Olympian? I don't know.
Possibly. I guess the whole team would be the oldest Olympians. So once you get that, because you know the old guys are getting there. Would you oil up? Like, what was his name? Was it?
Oh yeah, the dude from Tonga.
From
Yeah,
Tonga?
Tonga.
Yeah. Would you oil up if you were doing a flag thing? Would you,
do.
No,
It wouldn't-
we're Italian. There's oil on this isn't going to go well.
And that's the other thing too. Would you be representing the United States or would you be representing Italy?
I would have to represent the United States.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have my dual citizenship,
Yeah,
so
you
come
can't
on.
choose.
Okay.
There you
Well, no.
Some of the guys
Some
are
of the
going
guys-
through the dual citizenship
Yeah, they
process.
have.
So,
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I saw a story about
And
that.
that would be awesome. And then what if it came
Your
down?
competition would be harder to get on the team. in
it would
Italy,
be.
though.
It would
That
be
would
harder
be.
to get on the
Yeah,
team. in
yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
It'll be hard to get.
There's
on
a
the
lot
team.
of Michael
Yeah.
Jordan.
What if it
in
came
Italy, I
down
would
for
think.
the gold? It was between USA and Italy. Oh man,
That's a storybook ending. Right,
Right.
And You guys said no, we're gonna share it, and you went and shook hands and said, "We're
No,
There's no crying in bocce, and there's no
crying,
handshaking.
There's no handshaking. Well, there is handshaking.
At the end.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good game.
Good game.
Good
let's
game.
drink some wine."
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Bocce. Bocce should be an Olympic sport.
I agree.
Why is this coming up for the first time?
I think it should be our life's mission to petition.
You're the guy. You're
I'm the guy?
in
Me?
addition to everything else that I love about you, if there was somebody who could put the pieces together and move it forward, we have enough lawyers in the Columbus Italian Club that could take care of the legal beagle stuff. But as far as formatting it all together to present to the Olympic Committee
IOC
and petition the IOC,
Do it.
Nobody better than Chuck Lombardo, in my opinion.
Thank you, Dino.
I think you're sensible, you're smart, you're passionate, you're authoritative at the right time when you need to be. Absolutely.
I don't know. He's gonna get dinged for wearing Indians gear.
That's true.
Oh well, trust
He's
me.
gonna get canceled.
This is just for today.
This is today. This is his last gasp.
Yeah, it's my
so
last
he's gonna get
hurrah
canceled.
into the
Yeah.
Death rattle.
Yeah.
And through the rest of the season, because I
Yeah.
guarantee you. So have you seen any of the Guardians merchandise? Was there any?
Are they already selling it?
Are they selling it already?
They're selling bootleg versions. So a lot of the t-shirt makers out there that make some fantastic things, by the way. I mean, I'm not going to begrudge any of them.
Right.
They make some great stuff. They've already taken the Guardians and the Cleveland thing, and it's out there. But no official merch.
Nothing official yet.
No.
And I know your answer to this, but I mean, people could still wear Indians gear, right?
Oh, they
I mean,
will.
it-
They
you know,
will.
like,
They will.
They will.
It's not
They
like they're
will.
saying you have to burn everything.
Everybody finds their own way to make a stand in the when it comes to something, and
Yeah, that's
a
a
lot
I mean, I
of lot
kinda-
of
That's the
Oh,
dumbest
kinda
fucking logo I've ever
It's
seen in my life.
too cartoony for
It's
me.
very
it is a little
cartoony.
cartoony.
Superhero.
It
Talking about
looks
the
like-
baseball
yeah,
with the G and the
it
little
looks-
wings.
Yeah, it's a little
I
too
don't know, that's not
cartoony.
Greg. I think I might like
Yeah.
it. Like
But people will make a stand. People will wear their Indian stuff.
They will.
But it'll be interesting to see, like, oh man, I don't want to support the Guardians, but I love the Indians, so I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna wear the Indian
What
shirt.
about the throwback jerseys? Because they always do throwback jerseys.
Yeah, what's gonna happen there?
Like
It'll just be Cleveland.
the Wizards did throwback jerseys that said Bullets.
Okay,
So
that's
I
cool.
think you do, every once in a while you'll do a Spiders one, you do an Indians one, you do the
Yeah.
Wahoo.
That's a nice pipe dream you have.
Just trying to help you.
Wahoo
out.
will
know,
never
I
see the
know.
light of day ever again.
Yeah. But see, I think that's where the happy median is, to just bring out a lot of things that say Cleveland baseball.
Cleveland baseball?
Everyone can get around Cleveland baseball.
Yeah. Wait, isn't the logo already C, or is that just because they?
It's just kind of big block C
Yeah.
kind of thing, yeah.
All right.
I don't think that's going to change.
If they're smart, they'll just keep it.
And I think the way you reflect upon it is and what you miss and what you're going to miss are those memories.
Exactly.
You know, it's really not about the name. It's about the fact that somebody is changing the name of your memories.
Exactly. You're exactly right, Dino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I get one right. Every once in a while, our glasses are a tad empty. So
It's very good.
yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
Makes me want to go to a baseball game. My
With
You don't
bottled,
drink whiskey
Cleveland?
at a baseball game, do you?
I think
have.
nowadays they've got everything.
I know they got
you
everything, but that
Yeah.
doesn't seem right to me.
want. No.
That
no.
the
I usually try to stick with whatever the local beer on tap is
Right.
when we're
Yeah.
at the game.
Yep.
And then whatever and I've talked about it before, whatever the local thing is at that ballpark, if they have a thing. Like, to me, if you're going to a Cleveland baseball game, you notice it.
Yes.
Yeah, right,
okay.
right.
All
Look
right.
at you.
Baseball
Already
game.
training yourself.
Yes. To me, it's like you have to get one of those griddle-topped hot dogs. Like, that's the thing to get at the Indians game. Get that thing smothered with some onions and throw some of that brown mustard on there.
The
That is-
Cleveland mustard,
man,
yeah. Stadium
Bertman's,
mustard.
yeah.
It's
But
good stuff.
there's other places that are known for other things.
Yeah.
so you
What,
gotta go
what,
for
what's
the
down at the
things.
Reds? What is it? What's their
It's
thing?
Skyline is because
Oh,
they're all
yeah,
like chili dogs and
Skyline,
stuff. Yeah,
Chili dogs.
it's good stuff, man.
It is good
And they have a
stuff.
good bratwurst too, by the way.
And
I'd
in
go for
Pittsburgh,
Brock.
is it the
And some
the
Hudapole.
sandwich?
In Pittsburgh, what's available in the stadium of Pittsburgh? Gosh, I know that the Permane Brothers sandwiches
That's what
are
I was
big,
asking,
but I don't
yeah.
think that. I don't think those are. I don't. Maybe they are in the stadium.
I
don't
think
know.
there's one in there.
There's a Permane
I
Brothers.
think there's a Permanis in
Yeah.
there. I tell you, when I went to...
But yeah, definitely Iron City beer.
yeah.
Well, I was going to say the Cardinals is just Budweiser.
Yeah, Iron
Yeah.
City. So,
Honestly, the The one time I went to one Pirates game, beautiful stadium, by the way.
It is a great stadium.
Fantastic.
Right?
The way the stadium like frames downtown is
Beautiful.
absolutely
It's gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
My buddy and I
Yeah.
were hanging out in the right field section. It was like a rain delay. They were making some of the most killer Bloody Marys I've ever had in my entire life in that right corner
Not
bar.
happening. I'm not.
Oh my
Bloody
god!
Mary at a baseball
I'm not-
game?
It was a noon game.
And I love whiskey, and I'm not drinking a whiskey at the baseball.
It was a
Yeah,
noon
baseball
it's a
game. I'm
beer-
getting a
it's
beer.
kind of
It was a
place.
noon game. We were only drinking the Bloody Marys until the rain delay was over, and then we moved on to beers.
So much like everything else in your life, you find a way to justify and rationalize things,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Absolutely.
Of
You don't.
course,
You
we
just
all-
you just met me, Dino.
We
Come
all,
on.
we all need a good justification. Well, we're only drinking these until the rain delay is over. Then we're going to go back to tradition.
Tradition.
I remember going to double headers at when I was living in Chicago, and it'd be double headers at the park, and we would try to do a beer an inning.
Oh Jesus!
At Wrigley or at
At
White-
Wrigley,
yeah.
at Wrigley, at Wrigley, when we go see the Cubs, and I would go to Comiskey as well. Same thing. I would try to do the same thing. Yeah,
That's impossible.
That's a
It's,
rough day.
well, that's depending on how long an inning would last.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Sometimes, if it was a long inning, you were able to pace yourself. But if the innings went fast, man,
You'd be drinking beers while you were waiting.
Oh, in the
line to use
90s, the
men's room.
Cubs weren't that good, so maybe you were drinking a lot.
man, I remember, I remember making it, and I remember not making it. Yeah,
Ooh.
before it was all said and done. What do you think about it before it's all said and done? It's 9 beers over the course of
They're just so fun. Like
a baseball game, but they were the big, tall beers.
Oh,
Huge.
God, like the 16 ounces? Yeah.
I'm not a basketball fan, so I mean, I could be short sighted, but like I don't envision people going to basketball games like this. And football games maybe, but you know what I mean. Just I don't know, the fact that maybe there's 100 and some games, 160 games, and there's a bunch of day games. Just so much fucking fun.
Dude, there's almost nothing better than a day baseball
I know.
game.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
go to a day baseball game, you get to, like when I lived up in Cleveland, you get to knock off on like a Thursday at noon, and you get to
Just go.
I work downtown, you get to walk on over to the stadium,
right.
watch the
Right.
game,
Businessman special.
sunshine.
Which you
couple
can't
cold
call that
beers.
anymore. You can't call it a businessman special
I know.
anymore.
Business person.
You got to call it a business person special
right.
anymore. It can't be a businessman special anymore. What's wrong with you?
That's right.
You're canceled.
Ah,
I'm sorry, business women.
I missed
canceled.
I missed the Twilight doubleheader.
Oh, yeah.
We did that when we were kids. We'd get off school, we'd go down to Cincinnati, see the first game, stay for the second game, come back home.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was great. It was great.
Now it's the day night, so they can make a little extra
A little
money.
extra
extra
money.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doubleheader
See,
was the same
and
price.
there we talk about change. We talk about change. Baseball games were
They kick you out.
Day games.
Yeah, do they?
They were. Oh, yeah.
they were all day games. And then they realized, well, we got to start playing them at nighttime and
I mean, look how they had to retrofit Wrigley just for
right
lights.
for lights. Remember
Yeah.
that? It was a
Yeah.
big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, Fenway. You think it looked like that before?
No.
No. It's funny stuff.
What
So-
stadiums do you still have to go check out?
We have to do the West Coast, so San Diego, Angels, Dodgers, Giants,
Been there.
Mariners, and
been-
Arizona.
You been to Oakland then?
Oh yeah, in
Arizona's
Oakland.
awesome.
Sorry,
I've been to both those stadiums.
everybody forgets about Oakland.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not
it
a
might
good-
not be the Oakland A's.
Not a
We
good
don't
place
know.
to watch a baseball
Well,
game.
I mean, with all the things transpiring
Well,
with
but
the
luckily
city
they're
and
all
Major
closed.
League, yeah.
I
you
haven't
can
been
make
to
Yeah.
nearly as many baseball parks as anybody. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I think those three are it. Oh no, Chicago, of course.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Duh.
Both,
Of course.
both, right?
Both Chicago. Yeah, yeah.
Detroit? You ever been to Detroit?
I've never been to a Detroit baseball game. Been to hockey up in Detroit.
I've been to Toronto and I've been to the Yankee Stadium.
Never been to Yankee Stadium. Never seen a game in New York.
I saw the Yankees and
Talk
and
about change.
Boston.
I've been
Yeah.
to
The
Shea-
Dodgers
Shea
when
once.
when a baseball team leaves a city.
Oh yeah.
I mean, would you be more upset over a name change or if you're Cleveland Guardians, Indians, whatever,
The Expos?
if they left? What would you do if they left Cleveland?
oh, it would be outright panic.
That
Like,
would be a crushing blow.
Yeah, that would
Right?
That would absolutely be a crushing blow. I mean, the Browns when the Browns left Cleveland,
That was bad enough.
that was bad. That was bad. I mean, you just ripped the heart out of a city and you moved it to Baltimore. But I mean, they left and they said from the beginning, "We'll get you another team. Just get us a new stadium." And 4 years from now, you'll be fine.
You'll be good.
But
Got an expansion
Indians,
team.
I
Good.
mean, that's or Cleveland baseball. And you're talking
you
about
can still call them the Indians.
I know for this year I will, but 120 years.
I know that's a long time,
It's a
man.
long time.
I think that would rip the heart and soul out of fans more than a name change.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
If they left, I mean, that's like, it's like your mom or, if anybody's had this happen, I'm sorry. Be like your mom or dad just, going out for cigarettes and never coming back.
Not a word.
Abandonment.
Yeah.
That'd be
It-
problematic.
It would be very problematic.
But then the devil rays will come up, and you'd be all fine.
Oh, the devil.
See, now that was a subtle name change.
Oh, shoot.
That went from Devil Rays
The Rays.
to Rays.
Yeah,
It was
Rays.
very subtle.
Yeah.
It was nice. But no, it would have been very bad.
I'm sorry. Why did that happen?
Because devil's
Devil,
not
man.
good.
It's down
It
the
was,
Bible
all a
Belt down there,
marketing
dude.
play. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was the devil getting pissed and saying
It might have
Like
been.
they were playing really shitty. I don't want to be associated with this team. God damn it.
the devil is not politically incorrect? You call me Satan Rays, call me Beelzebub
Satan.
Rays, but the devil is just
Got to draw the line.
draw the line someplace.
It's problematic.
It's problematic. Oh man! All right. Well, anything else on your mind, Chuck Lombardo, that you'd like to share that we haven't covered in respects to your loyalty to Cleveland, to baseball, to sports in general, to the world as we know it? Because you seem to be, to me, a guy that no matter what happens amongst us in this crazy world, and it's been a crazy world, especially in this last year or so.
It has.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, the pandemic took your precious baseball away from you on some level,
Yeah.
as far as going to a game.
Absolutely.
Did you watch baseball? Or did you?
I did.
I
watched
did
it when
you
I
try to watch
could.
it when you
Yeah, absolutely.
could? In the midst of the pandemic, is it as satisfying?
It was odd.
Did-
I think everything was odd. When you remove things like fans from a
Right.
stadium, you lose some of that ambiance. And they tried to do the best they could, like by piping in all the
Right.
video
Dude,
game noise.
These Olympians, I don't know how they do
Yeah.
it either.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it takes a whole nother level of dedication to be able to perform your sport going from being in front of 50,000 people to nobody.
Right.
Think about
Crazy.
that.
The shift. Should they get rid of the shift?
Oh yeah, I was going to
God,
ask you
I
about
hate
some of
that
that stuff. Some of the changes in rules.
There are so many things going on in baseball. I mean, it's things that I agree with, like speeding up the game a little bit to make it more
Visits to the mound.
to make it more appealing for the casual fan
right.
to watch. Like, I get that.
Didn't they change the ball as well?
They've changed the ball so many times.
Yeah.
First they're hot balls, then they're heavy balls, and then they're measuring exit velocity on the balls, and then you've got things like the shift. Should we disallow the shift? It's part of the game. Are we going to take away the designated hitter? Are we going to take away having the pitchers not pitch or not? I'm sorry, not bat.
Not bat.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So many different things.
The
like
three
Yeah.
hitter minimum type of
three
thing.
hitter.
So are you
minimum.
against? So you want it to be as close to old school as possible?
Well, I want them to keep as many of the games to keep it traditional
Yeah.
Sure.
as they can, knowing that things need to evolve.
Sure.
I mean, you've got to make the game
Yeah.
more friendly for
Well,
people
I
to watch.
agree with the shift.
Why?
If the shift, just hit it the other
Why?
way. Learn how to hit it.
Why do you have to make it more friendly for more people to watch? If it was an established game for 120 some years, why do you have to make it more friendly? Why do you have to cater to those to
Esports,
to
Dino.
bring people in to watch the game? Why can't they adapt? This is how the game is played.
Right.
This is how it's been played. Learn it, love it, or leave it.
I think that the answer to that question all comes down to the dollar. It's all about money.
The almighty dollar.
Because baseball is one of those sports that's unregulated as far as salary caps go. So you've got teams, the small market teams that are always going to be the feeder system for big dollar teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox that have unlimited payroll capacity. And you've got teams like the Pirates, the Indians,
Right.
the Rays, the Marlins that are always going to be the feeder for
The
talent
Reds.
into the system. And it comes down to the dollar in changing those little nuances in the game, because right now they're dragging behind in revenue versus all the other major sports. And with an uncapped payroll system, now you're going to already be penalizing those smaller markets even more.
I get that as well.
It's
So they have to. So saying they have no choice but to come up with a way to make the game friendlier and more people.
I think-
But I'm saying if you didn't love baseball for 20 years,
Right.
and all of a sudden they make these changes to make the game friendlier, are you all of a sudden going to turn around and go, "Oh, Major League Baseball"? Well, now that they did that,
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I might watch it.
Well, a minute,
No.
a second, an extra beat, extra
No.
innings? No.
and you're going to wonder at one point, does the game even resemble the game that you grew up watching?
It does not.
Right.
I mean, on some
yeah.
level,
No,
it
I agree
doesn't.
with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
On some level, it doesn't. So, there's
So
just
you
all-
don't like the pass ball, right? Not the pass ball, but the balls.
The balls are an interesting. That's
And then the when you're putting somebody on base, they don't pitch to them. So you know,
yeah.
I don't like it.
The other one is you start at second base.
I hate that shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's a terrible rule.
That's a horrible
Terrible
rule. That's
rule.
that's like
When did who
that
s-
sounds like a childhood rule. Like,
dumb.
exactly.
You know
When the
what we're
dad-
gonna
when the
do?
dad just wants to
Yeah,
hurry the
yeah,
fuck
yeah,
up.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do. You start at second base now. Move things along.
That's right. Exactly.
What? Yeah, that's
And the 7-inning double play or seven
Seven-inning
double
doubleheader.
headers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah,
But they're
What are we
going to get
talking
rid of
about
that
here?
next season.
Yeah,
I heard.
Good.
I think for COVID that was okay, but because they had so many double.
Yeah.
the-
They had to make up a
letters.
bunch
Yeah,
of stuff.
Yeah. So see, there's a lot of things you could. There's a lot of things other than the Indians turning into Guardians that you can bitch about
Oh,
in
absolutely.
baseball.
Oh, yeah, I
All
could sit
So
here
you
for
could take
hours
your-
and bitch
You could
about
take your
things.
angst
Yeah.
and your frustration and apply it to so many other factions of the game.
I'm gonna apply it all to getting bocce into
to the Olympics
now. So
and that,
Yes.
let's not forget that.
exactly.
How-
That's the huge takeaway from tonight.
That is the huge takeaway tonight. That bocce, on an upcoming podcast, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to bring it up again. The Bocce brothers are going to be coming.
Oh, are they coming?
They're coming. Dante and his brother are coming on the podcast.
Who are the Bocce brothers?
The
Yeah,
Bocce
first time I heard
brothers
about this.
are very popular on social media. They have a nice following, and they're all about the bocce.
All right.
All about the bocce.
I'm gonna be a fly on the wall for
Oh,
that
you
one.
can come in for that one.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah. So I'm wondering if they have had the same thought that we've had tonight. How come bocce's not in the freaking Olympics?
Maybe we'll find out. Is that a teaser?
Maybe. I mean, I don't understand. There's so many other ping pong.
Trampoline.
For crying out loud, is an Olympic sport.
Horses dancing.
Dressage. Yeah.
That's right.
I told you what my friend Deli. You know Deli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was watching dressage the other night in the Olympics. What the hell?
What is
horses.
that?
The horse is doing all the work.
Right? It's not a sport.
But yeah, there are some debatable sports in the Olympics that why not bocce?
Yeah.
It's skill.
What about the underwater synchronized dancing?
Right.
I just need to print off a schedule. There's got to be something online that has all the Olympics.
Well, you know what? So I tried to watch some different things this year. And in years past, I felt like there were multiple channels where
Yeah.
you could see different
There still
sports.
are. There still are.
I found two.
USA.
USA and NBC.
Yeah.
That was it.
There's MSN. MSN is also doing it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
But-
felt
but
like there were more outlets. in the
NBC is
past.
actually, you can get anything online right now. Anything.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're streaming all of it.
They're
Yes.
streaming all of it, and,
Okay.
and we talked about this on the radio as well, that the ratings are down tremendously, and we think it's because of the way that people watch
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
view now. They stream, and and the fact that there's a time difference,
Right.
huge
Yeah.
time difference, that people want to see it now whenever they watch.
I
So
like
you
to watch
guys-
stuff live.
Have you two seen 3-on-3 basketball yet?
Oh, I
No,
loved it.
No, I didn't
The
watch
women
it.
won the gold medal, and I thought that was a great game, man.
It's awesome.
Really?
Oh, it's
To
fast.
watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And once again-
it's a running clock, volleyball, scoring,
Rebound,
type
take
of
it
thing,
beyond a
basketball.
3-point
Oh,
line,
yeah.
just like you
Cool.
would do in
Yeah,
the,
street
in the
ball.
park.
It's
Yeah.
street
Yeah.
ball. It's
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
mean, we grew up playing 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah.
So and that's an Olympic sport.
First one at 21 in like a 8-minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8 minutes?
yeah, something like that.
That's
and then,
cool.
and then it's like volleyball where you get
Watch.
a point and then
You-
you just do it again.
Mark my
Yeah.
words. Horse horse will make the game of horse will make it to the Olympics for basketball
let's make a
before
wager.
bocce does.
Bocce or horse, and we'll come first.
Horse will get there before bocce does.
I'd watch that.
I would watch it too. Ain't no way that the Argentinian makes it from half court.
Did he call a bank shot? I don't think he did. Let's go to the replay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
You guys.
I don't know. And again, I apologize. I don't know why I picked on the Argentinian who had mediocre basketball skills and couldn't shoot it from past half court. But that's what popped into my head. I have no problem with the Argentinians, so don't cancel
For
me.
now.
Our guest has been Chuck Lombardo, baseball enthusiast, lover, passionate fan, and I know that you will adjust, and
I will.
And you will make do, and in your heart, they will always be the Indians, and when you speak, they will always be Cleveland baseball. If you don't want to embrace the Guardians, that, my friend, is entirely your prerogative. So, good luck to you.
Thanks, Dino.
You're welcome. Our guest bottle has been the Cleveland Black Reserve, which we give a thumbs up to.
Yeah.
What's
definitely.
the distillery? Does it say like?
You know what? I did not do my research on this particular bottle, but it comes out of Cleveland, Ohio, man.
Cool.
It's a.
You can buy it here in
Hang on a
Columbus.
second. Gotta
Most
get my-
likely,
my old man glasses
Detroit.
on.
So does Tom
Finished
Foolery, I
and
think.
bottled by Cleveland Whiskey, Cleveland, Ohio, United States of America.
Huh.
So
It's just
right,
Cleveland
yeah,
whiskey.
Yeah.
All right.
We start with young barrel-aged bourbon, but we don't wait for it to slowly age in a warehouse or depend on changing environmental factors. Basically, what they're saying is we just put this shit out as fast as
right.
we can. That's
quicker
what
we put it out,
they
the
should
quicker we
just
can sell
cut.
it.
They should just cut to the chase.
Water from the Cuyahoga River.
Yeah.
There are some, of course, who think we're heretics. Others that say what we do is sacrilege. They're pretty much saying it in fancy words. But we believe that taste is really all that matters. That's what we do. That's who we are. We are Cleveland.
That embodies us, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh man, good
Just,
Lord.
just for this, whoever wrote this, hey, Cleveland Whiskey, whoever wrote that, genius. Give that person a raise.
10 out of 10.
That's awesome. Some closing business before we say goodbye, Hansberry.
WhiskeyBusinessPod.com for archived episodes and a bunch of videos and writings and fun stuff and new headshots. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
New pictures.
Evergreen Podcast, evergreenpodcasts.com. Thank you. That's our network that we just recently joined. And check out they've got like I said, they've got like 100 things. My dad listened to, I meant to talk to you about this. I guess there's like a guy who looks back at old like 60s and 70s comedy bits.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. This is coming from my dad, so it could
I'd
be.
be interested in that one.
Yeah, I would like to
full
watch that
bullshit,
too.
but it might be legit.
Especially since Jackie Mason just passed away.
Oh,
Jackie
no.
Mason. You didn't know that Jackie Mason passed away?
No, when?
A couple days ago. Yeah.
And the
that's
bass
bad.
player for ZZ Top.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Dusty.
Yeah. And on that sad note, vote for us at the podcast.
Any other passings we want to commemorate before we sign off?
The
Cleveland Indians.
That's right.
R.I.P.
Oh, man. Vote for us, like Hansberry said, ColumbusPodcastAwards.com. On behalf of my wonderful
Stop touching me.
audio producer, Greg Hansberry, and the video producer, John Whitney, and our very special guest tonight, Chuck Lombardo. My name is Dino Tripodis. Until, my friends, the next bottle. See ya.
All right.